Hi, I'm Rachel Whitefield, certified life coach, and with me is our resident swiping sorceress, Jackie Black. Thank you for joining us on another fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield.
Right, Rachel.
Hmm.
It looks like we have a guest.
Indeed, we do have a guest today. All the way from Louisiana is our very good friend, Madeline. Take it away,
That's
Jackie.
right. Madeline well, originally she was my friend, and then I introduced her to you. And
Mhm.
now all three of us have bonded over the fact that we are all three jumping into the dating game in our 40s.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, technically 30s.
Yeah, well, yes,
Yeah.
we are. Forgive us. Madeline is right smack dab mid 30s, so she just on her own adventure. But let's rewind. Let's talk about what we're all drinking because we all have whiskey. We're all making cocktails. So, Madeline, since you're our guest, let's talk about what you're drinking.
Yeah, here, look, I'll show you my little tray I brought over. I have decided that I'm gonna do some makers tonight. Um, I also have a thing for cherry juice. So I get this organic maraschino cherry that has no red dye 40 in it. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that and some Canada Dry Zero, so I don't have any headaches tomorrow.
That sounds freaking delicious. I too
Yes.
am drinking Maker's Mark. So, but I'm adding cranberry apple juice to my Maker's Mark. I just discovered
Oh.
texture so freaking good, you guys.
I want to
So
try
freaking,
that.
yeah, it's good.
And then
It's delicious.
as we talked about on the last episode, bought myself a brand new bottle of Courage and Conviction Cuvée Cask from Virginia Distillery Company, friends of this
Ooh.
show. Yes, I stopped waiting and bought myself my very own bottle that I've always wanted since somebody drank it all. So
And that came straight out the freezer. Look
straight
at
out the
that.
freezer, it
I
is
love it.
Queen of Ice. So mine is just going, oh,
Oh, wait a
before I
minute.
pour
Let's see
though.
those ice molds.
They're just
Mm.
spheres today. They're spheres with fancy sprinkled moonstone glitter
Stop.
over it. So it's like the iridescent white pink one. So they're just sphere. But the tops, they kind of look like little Death Stars, which is nice.
That
So
is beautiful.
thank you. Thank you. Fancy eyes for a fancy lady. So in my Harry Potter golden snitch cup today. So
Oh, I forgot. I'm actually in my Schumacher dragon cups today with the gold rims.
I also have fancy sprinkles on my ice cube. I just have a regular cube. You have spheres.
fierce. Mm-hmm.
And then I got the Glenfiddich cup that we got at our tasting, Rachel. That's what
Oh, I love that. Yes, it is. Your drink is so beautiful, Jacqueline.
it's pretty, right? It looks
Yes.
like that. So
That is
before
beautiful.
let's all cheers. Clinky.
Yes.
Mm,
Shit, that's fresh.
shit,
So good.
it's delicious. I'm about to get fucked up. It's totally fine. It's
So, as
totally
we touched on a little bit earlier in the show, we are talking about more or less getting back into the dating game as we may have taken a break for individual reasons. And we're all at different points in our life. And so we're going to be talking about getting back out there, dating in our 40s, in our 30s, boundaries, red flags, and not settling as we get to choose what we're doing now.
hell yes. And Madeline has a really different experience in the dating world than you and I have because Madeline was married for quite some time and then she went through a period of time where she was not dating at all. Madeline, can you tell us the mindset? Like if you got divorced and then you were like, I'm not going to date anybody. In fact, I'm not going to even talk to any men at all. Instead, I'm going to focus on myself. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because it's something
Yeah.
I probably could not have made that decision to
Mhm.
do.
So It's interesting. So I got divorced, and by the time I got divorced, when you talk to so many women who've gone through experiences like that, by the time I was divorced, I was just so done. I had tried everything possible. And so immediately after being finally legally divorced, and being separated in the state of Louisiana, you have to be separated and live separate for 6 months before you can even get a divorce. Yeah. So immediately after, I was so ready and I started online dating at that time period. And you have to remember it was right after COVID as well. And so I had a really, really, really awful experience, and it made me take a complete step back. And initially, I told myself, I'm just going to take a step back for, 90 days. And when I took a step back from dating for 90 days, I found so much peace in my life whenever I had just turned all of that completely off. And it made me remember how happy I was at the beginning of my relationship with my ex-husband. And through the majority of my marriage, I never even looked at other men. And I really started that deconstruction of like patriarchy and decentering of men kind of while I was married. And so having to shift back and go into dating again and having such a bad experience, it kind of pushed me back into this other state. And so before I knew it, the 90 days stretched into 3 years. And I was basically listening to you, Jackie, and our other friend Eve in Australia. And I was realizing that, even Eve, who's not necessarily even interested in men, was out there dating men again, and I wasn't. And so I realized this is ridiculous. I need to push and get myself out there again too, because I'm 35 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I guess if I'm ever going to meet someone, this is probably the time period in my life where I should probably try to do so. So I reluctantly decided to get back out there with really, really, really picky high standards. And I'm having a lot of fun so far, but it's only been about 2 months.
Can I ask a couple of follow-up questions?
Please, yeah.
Because I feel like as someone who is newly single, I'm right on the cusp of deciding what other road you're going to go down right now. I'm like, tell me more about not dating at all. So how long were you married for?
So I was married for 3 years.
3 years. Okay. And so then when it was the 90 days of just focusing on yourself, was it like, hey, I love this, I'm going to take another 90 days? Or was it just like, when I start to feel lonely, I think I'll go on find a dating app at this point? Like when you say the 90 days turned into 3 years, that's a significant time stretch,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you were very happy. Um, s- can you kind of clarify what some of the breakthroughs you might have had or what made you decide just to not date for the 3 years? Can you expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess yeah, I should also probably talk about the fact that I do come from it from a very privileged perspective as well. And so, like, I don't have to go into a traditional office environment where I'm dealing with men all of the time. And um, so, what really started happening was at the very beginning of that 90 days, I told myself that I was basically pulling my energy back from everything in life. And I was only going to do things that were healthy for me for a change, because I had a bad habit of I would get into relationships with these men who would expect me to kind of center around them. And I really hated that I started noticing that that was a pattern. And so I decided after those 90 days, actually around the 6 month mark, I adopted my Rottweiler and started putting so much time and attention towards him and my home. And I loved being at home with my dogs so much. And I told myself, if it's not better than staying at home alone with my dogs, I'm just not going out and I'm not doing it any longer.
Mhm.
And the reality is, I can take myself out and I can go and have a really nice dinner at the bar. And, I talk to y'all about this all the time and I laugh, but like, I love going and having like a Tuesday night sushi dinner at the bar and ordering way too much and having tons of leftovers the next day. And not having to share that with a man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is so nice to just bring leftovers home and be able to eat on that for like, and not have to do dishes or like, you know, and just eat out of a plastic thing out of the fridge for 2 days if I want to. Um, but yeah, sorry, I started rambling, but no, I mean, it really was something that I just kind of told myself I'm going to pull all of my energy back and I'm going to invest in myself, my dogs, my home life. And I'm just going to focus on that. And the more I did that, the more peaceful my life was, the more I couldn't tolerate even just bad friendships. You know, I really started realizing which women in my life were actually adding to my life and who kind of left me drained at the end of the day. And so it really made me just kind of pull all of my energy back and just really refocus. And the idea of like mindlessly dating again or going out on dates with men at that time period was just so unattractive to me, given what I'd been through, especially.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like she just said, I got a dog.
Yeah.
I had so much more fun with the dog
Yeah.
that what even was the point of dating at that point? She had 3 years of bliss with her and her baby.
Mm-hmm.
I just know Madeline was like, I can't. I have a dog at home whenever
Hmm.
men were hitting on her.
Oh,
Sorry,
always.
I have a dog.
Always. And he's a Rottweiler too. So it's interesting how men react whenever they find out that you have such a large and like stereotypical like aggressive breed. Because I do not allow him to be aggressive in my home. And we have a very like loving energy. He's so good to my little dog. They're wonderful companions. And so whenever when men think that I have him and that I have this like very aggressive like style, it's always very telling the reactions that you get. You know what I mean?
I used to have a pit bull, so I know
Hmm.
exactly what you're talking about. I miss being able to say, "Oh yeah, I have a razorback pit bull or razor's edge pit bull," because those are the giant ones. Those are like the next step down from the giant pit bulls. And so I used to always love seeing men's reaction to
Hmm.
have a giant pit bull at home.
Hmm.
Um,
You have to have very
but
steady energy for a breed like that. If you aren't consistent and
yeah,
steady, if you're a man that's going to raise his voice or pop off, or, you know, like you can't be like
yeah.
that around these types of animals. And my goal is to have a home where I never have anybody disrupting my energy like that ever again. So my animals are very safe in this environment, you know?
I love how she protects her energy. Like it's very much like I didn't date because I am protecting my own self. It's wise beyond her years kind of thing.
Yeah, I really like the sound of that because you were just like we always say like you to date, it's like you're supposed to make my life better, not worse.
Yes.
Like I have such great friends, I have such great energy, I have such great peace in my life, I sleep great. Like this or better is how I live my life with everything. So it's just like when you're just like, is someone going to bring betterness into my life? You know? So
Hmm.
again, you were like, I felt like I was mindlessly dating. And so, or you didn't have a purpose to it. Because especially when I first got divorced, I was like, I do not want to get remarried immediately. Absolutely not, you know? So it was, where's that line of casually dating of, it didn't even occur to me that it was just like, just don't date.
Right.
And it sounds so silly or stupid, but also it's just like, oh, just don't date. Like as a single woman or like in society now, it's just like I know I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on my mission to be super comfortable in my own skin and love myself and I know I'm a whole and complete person and not half a couple, but just the idea of just don't date. I was like, that is also an option. I'm sorry, I'm glitching right now. And so
Hmm.
like what an emancipated state to be in, and just so simple of like I'm just not gonna date. It's not
Honestly,
like
though, it's
you're
not an easy state, though. People
Mhm.
don't allow you to just be a single woman. Like, I can't tell you how many times, like, I purposely will go and eat like I like to eat things like that I wouldn't like to cook at home. So like sushi, right? I eat a
Mhm.
lot of fish. I love getting like ahi tuna salads and things. And so I'll go to bars and I'll try to go eat like early in the evening because I like to eat early and go to bed early. I like to go home to my dog, you know? But I can't even tell you how often I will come across, especially older men, like retirement age men who are out drinking and who are so like they won't allow me just to sit there and read my emails and eat my dinner in peace. They are so bothered by my existence and by me being there as a woman alone in such a space. And like they have to know all about you and try to figure out, why are you just existing and basically feeding yourself food? And
Yeah.
it's shocking. It's like, why do I have to continuously explain myself when I'm literally just trying to sit here and eat a salad with a piece of fish on top of it and a decent, martini at five
Mhm.
o'clock on a Wednesday. This isn't like this shouldn't be that shocking, and I shouldn't be treated as if I'm doing something wrong too. I think sometimes men will treat you, if you're dressed too well, they're going to treat you as if you're looking for something.
Every time.
Almost,
Every
yeah.
single time I will dress up and take myself on dates and
Mhm.
we're going to restaurants, right? We're not going to just like bars, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We're eating at the restaurant bar, but if you're there by yourself and you're dressed up, they are expecting you to be meeting somebody or to be hoping to meet somebody. You can never just be there and exist on your own.
Hmm. It's true. And I think it depends on the way that you look as a woman as well. I think that there are a lot of things to be said about like pretty privilege, but I think there's a lot of secondary things that happen because of pretty privilege as well. And so, like, you know, you never have the ability to just sit there and be taken seriously and just order a decent dinner and just be a patron at a bar. You're going to have a bunch of men, talking to you, and it's really interesting how demeaning they can become as well. It's really disheartening. And so I understand why women do continue dating and stay in these unfulfilling cycles because maybe that is less uncomfortable than all of just the daily activities of being a single woman and just, feeding yourself a decent, healthy meal, you know?
And I think what I was trying to touch on, it was more of like, oh, I feel like I'm a single person that's in between relationships at this moment versus just 10 toes down, I'm a single woman, full
Hmm.
stop,
Right.
you
It makes
know?
you feel like when you break up, like, oh, okay, like I gotta get back out in the dating game, blah blah blah
Hmm.
blah. You really feel that pressure, I think. And it's more surprising and impressive that Madeline, you were like, or I get a dog and I don't date at all. And that is an option that we don't necessarily think is an option.
Yeah,
I know me, after my divorce, the longest I think I waited was like 5 months before I actually was just like, nope, I got to. And now I'll never stop dating because I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. And that touches on like
You
what
are.
Matt was saying is like there has to be a purpose behind it. And
Mhm.
you, Rachel, you genuinely were like, I don't even know what the purpose would be at this moment, what that next step is.
Correct. I was doing a lot of wayward dating of like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I guess I just want to be monogamous, sexy time friends, but I don't want to get married. It's like I could not define what I wanted out of it
Yeah.
because I was really lost after my divorce. So at that
Yeah.
point, it's like I wasn't getting high quality partners because I didn't even have a language to ask for what I wanted. I had a lot of pick me behavior. I needed a lot of validation at the time. You can come
Yeah.
out of it, girls. But it's just more of like I feel with Madeline is saying she had a lot of intentionality with exactly what she was doing and how she was living her life. Like it was going to be intentional. I'm intentionally spending time with my dog that I love. I'm intentionally spending time at home. I'm intentionally getting comfortable eating alone. I'm intentionally getting comfortable out in the world, navigating as a single woman not looking for a relationship. So I just really do love that absolute intentionality of, hey, like this is still and like, does it serve me? Like being single serves you. And you were just like, yeah, that works. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, it's such a simple concept. And I was like, what do you mean I don't have to date if I don't want to? Like, oh my God, Um, it's like mind blowing sometimes. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
The simplicity.
you're really like contemplating like, do I get on the apps right now or do I continue just on this, like, I am taking care of myself, I am booking my nail clients, I am going to work, I am traveling, I am busy. Do I
Mhm.
continue on that path or do I just take a break, and if something happens, great, but if not, I'm not getting on those apps.
True. I think I've always lived my life and like, oh, if something happens, happens. But I also have to leave my house to do that, kind of thing. But I'm like, I'll
Yeah,
just be living my best life and then like a meet cute will happen is ish,
I love the idea of a meet cute. I had a meet
Absolutely.
cute, I feel like.
You
And
absolutely did.
Madeline now is on Hinge after 3 years of being single. She's on, we'll just say it. She's on Hinge.
But before we
Yes.
get into that, Madeline, I do want to ask you, like, so it's like 3 years of peace.
3 years
And
apiece.
and then what facilitated the change to say, I'm gonna give it a try?
Yeah, that's where I was going with this.
It
Okay.
Like
was it
on
was
that.
legitimately it was an Instagram message between Jackie, Eve, and I. And Eve was talking about her dating experiences in Australia. And I mean, Jackie has always told us about her experiences, and it's always been so fun. But yeah, Eve started and I was like, wait, I'm sorry. What? Like, honey, you don't even like men.
She doesn't. She does not like, she hates them.
Right?
Hate. And she's one of those, like, she's in my most terrible Australian accent. I'm a misandrist, right? Like
Mhm.
she will fully
Yes.
admit it. I don't like you, and they're still like, that's okay. Let me show you my wiener. And we're basically in a group chat just about that ridiculous. Eve and I are. I personally, you guys know, I'm on a dating app that is specifically for upside down pineapple people. We'll just say it. Well, I'm on a kink app. It is for threesomes and swinging and unicorns. I'm on all of that jazz. So I'm on I am just dating to have fun and get laid app,
Mhm.
but not Tinder. And then I'm also on Seeking Arrangement. And that is, I have been on Seeking Arrangement on and off for a while. It's always been super fun. I like to go on dates, fancy dates, and I like to go to the theater, and I like being taken on trips. And there have been several times I have traveled that you guys have followed my journey because of this app.
Mhm.
So I'm on those two apps because I am perpetually dating. Madeline is having a great time on Hinge, and
I am
you,
super vanilla. And I'm into nerds.
yes, nerds. But your intention genuinely is finding a partner now. Like that is
Yeah.
what I am hearing every single time you tell us about a date. This is, I am looking for a partner. The most recent dates that you've been on, this guy is really like making you glow, and nothing has even happened yet, and it's real fucking cute. Real fucking cute. And so like now, but the thing is that being on these apps have made me very much realize that dating before, like in my 20s, is so much different than dating now.
Very much.
Madeline, like, can you just tell me what are some of the differences that you have actually noticed in the dating pool since jumping back in after your hiatus?
Okay, so the last time I was on, it was all fish pics. Like everything was a fish pic. Now everybody is into golf. Everybody
Okay,
golfs.
I feel
so
like
they
there
were
was a real phase about it because it was like everyone has a fish pick, and then I was like, did everyone go on a group Machu Picchu trip and I wasn't
Yeah.
invited?
what
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yeah, I definitely remember all of those. I haven't seen those in this go round though, Rachel. I will
Mm-hmm.
say those have apparently disappeared, at least in my region. I don't know about if they're still in yours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of golfing, and I remember before it was a lot of people being like, "I like girls who don't take themselves seriously." Remember all of that kind of shit?
Shut
There's
up.
none of that anymore. They're all looking for long-term relationships, apparently. Let's be honest, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they all know that like women are all collectively have like stepped up. So now all of the dating profiles are men are actually having to step up.
Mm-hmm.
In my area, there's a ton of conservative men. Um, there's it's so many
I think they
conservatives.
make up the majority of that male loneliness, i.e., we have no accountability epidemic. I think they
Absolutely.
make up that group of people. And I don't know.
And they
I feel
don't know
like
how to treat women, and they all, they those all have the hunting pics because they're at the
they
camp with the boys every weekend.
they're always the ones that say that they're dumb, but actually what it is that they're assholes who like to get pegged.
Yes, yes, and we should definitely be talking about that. That is true. There's so many repressed men on these apps for sure. But yeah, I guess the biggest difference that I've noticed coming back is that hmm I don't know. I guess it's the difference in myself, to be honest with you. It's that I know what I'm looking for. And I think before, I was a little bit more willing to give everybody a try, right? I was in my 20s and I was kind of trying to like figure out, I was basically trying to look for something that was like totally opposite of what I knew growing up. I just knew that I didn't want what I thought was familiar. And so I was like, anything that wasn't familiar, I was willing to give a try. And I think that's the part of like maturing and having all of these experiences in dating is realizing, what works for you and what doesn't. And you can look at these people's profiles, and the things that I used to be attracted to when I was younger are just not attractive to me at all any longer. Um, I send y'all so many screenshots just laughing at so many of the things I come across.
You do not give anybody a chance. Like
No.
once you have perceived idiocracy, you're like
Mm,
unmatch, block, unmatch. Like as soon as it's perceived. There is no, okay, well, let's hear this person out. Madeline is just like, absolutely not, block.
Unmatched.
Answer
No.
this way. These men have 5 sentences max with Madeline as a first impression. Max.
Who
okay,
got
my
that from
favorites.
who?
I know.
Wait, my favorites though are the ones where they want to ask you, like, do you cook? Sir, why are you asking me if I cook? You don't need to know. You won't even know about that for at least the first 6 months,
I don't cook for men.
Mm,
right? Like, that
Men
is
belong
none
in
of
the
your damn
kitchen.
business.
Yeah.
Like, are
Yeah.
you looking for a mommy or a girlfriend? Because,
I
like,
personally, I have less of that experience. There is the difference for me as far as dating. One, I'm dating openly for specific reasons, and this dating field is extremely specific with what we are looking for. There's no beating around the bush. It's literally, what do you like sexually? Because if we're going to go on a date, it's probably going to happen. What are your absolute no's?
Yeah.
So
You're vetting
if
a new
I'm
sexual partner, not you're like, I'm not here to cook. We're
no,
here to get down.
and here's the thing, but the men will absolutely. I've been taken out on wonderful dates by not only single men but couples,
Hmm.
and like it's been really really nice. The thing that's actually different for me is the amount of younger men interested in me is concerning because they
mm,
are my actual son's age,
mhm.
and it is, I'm telling you, you guys, predominantly that are younger than us. All three of us Madeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Genuinely, I'm getting a lot of men who are in their 20s. When I was in my 20s, I got a lot of men who were in their 50s and 60s, which, by the way,
Ew.
gross.
Yeah.
Ew. I have so many things to say about that. But now I'm in my 40s, and all of these 22-year-old men are just like, I would worship the ground you're walking on. And I'm just like, I'm having a real moral like issue with it because some of these young things are so goddamn good looking and tall.
What's your
And
hang up on it? Just because you have a son their age?
because my son is 23 years old.
Okay,
That
but if
is
you
my
didn't have a son their age.
I probably wouldn't have a problem, but because maybe I have I think that's what it is. My hang up
Okay,
is
I'll tell you, for
I'm old
me,
enough.
like I don't even have children and I'm 35, and I will tell you, like when little boys at the gym, like college aged boys, like young 20s, I feel weird about it. I feel really weird about it. Like I feel like they probably have mommy issues and I don't want to play into it. Like I feel like I would be
Absolutely.
playing into their unhealthy things. Like they need to get a therapist. Like, you know what I mean?
Madeline, they absolutely not only have mommy issues, but want to call you mommy.
And I just can't. I can't do it. I
I
have no
couldn't have a
interest.
man call me mommy.
No.
I couldn't
You
No,
mean
either.
a boy, not even a man.
I
Wait.
know.
Do you
I
feel
just
like
Yeah.
the dating pool, Madeline, is much because of your high standards? Because, like, listen, just because I'm on these websites, let's be very, very clear. I too have very high standards. You
Oh,
both know
absolutely.
I have very, very, very high standards. Do you feel like because we have these extremely high standards that the dating pool has gone from like, oh, it's all these single people to it is this many single people? Like it is shrunk to microscopic sizes.
I've always felt like the dating pool has been so minuscule. Actually, to be honest with you, I feel like the older that I'm getting now, I feel like the dating pool is actually expanding because for once I actually feel more confident in myself and where I am in my life to be with people that are up, like that I'm actually attracted to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like I've always been attracted to people that I always had very high standards, but I think now I feel like I'm actually like equal and on league with that. And maybe that's my own insecurities that I had to work through. But
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I have insecurities with myself as well when I project these high standards, but for me it's a fake it till you make it kind of vibe.
and that's what I
I
did, but I'm not faking it for the first time. I
no,
actually
yeah,
like I'm like really like
absolutely.
rooted in it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You really want somebody who is going to, and I think your dating profile actually says that, like somebody who's going to add to my life, add to the quality of my life,
In
which,
every way.
yeah, in every way. And that actually is such an important point because like men might see like add to the quality of my life. Like, oh, well, I'm a plumber, you know, and then that's it. And then they're just emotionally dumb as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I try
So,
to ask good questions though. And I try to gauge how emotionally available they are. Like, I'll give you with the guy that I recently went out with. A good question that I asked him, who is your best friend and why?
ooh,
And
that's
that,
a good one.
right? And so it's a good one to kind of like allow them to go as deep as they want to. And he had a really good answer. And then he was like, "What about you?" And I talked about you guys actually. So,
Oh, I love that.
Yay.
You know what a question I like to ask men just to see like what their level of trauma actually is and see if they've actually worked through anything. I
mhm.
like to ask them, what do you remember about your 18th birthday?
Oh, I don't
Oh,
even remember my 18th birthday really.
right, because it gauges what kind of trauma you have in your
Oh God.
back in that part of your
Yeah.
life and you don't really remember it. Because here's the thing.
Oops.
I also don't remember my 18th birthday, you guys. I know Rachel, you don't.
No,
Absolutely.
I'm like, you can see me like I'm zoning out. I'm like, I know I had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I was in
Sledgehammer,
college.
my current primary partner, could tell me every minute of his day, of his 18th birthday. And that's when I
Oh.
knew, like, is if they can kind of like tell you like around basically specific like what happened, you know that they don't have a ton of trauma that they're trying to like get over. So that's what I asked them. It's always so interesting to just be like,
And you know,
watch him fry.
I think another thing, um, so Sledgehammer is I'm
Uh-huh.
correct with that. Okay, I just want to be
Yeah.
sure. So I think that his relationship with his father is something that makes him so much more like emotionally available because whenever he goes and has that sounding board, I think that is something that's really, really, really valuable for men that we probably
Are overlooking.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm potentially.
We were actually talking about this. I think I texted you guys some videos about a news story where they were talking about the male loneliness epidemic. And it turns out like it's like all
Daddy
of the
issues.
measures. Yeah, literally it's daddy issues. Oh, so the male loneliness epidemic is caused by men.
Mm.
The fact that it's daddy issues, and the men that they do have in their life are people like coaches and religious leaders. Those are the ones that are usually pedophiles. Not all
hmm
coaches, I'm not saying, but every time somebody is arrested, they do something like that. They're like a deacon at a church or a fucking
hmm
preacher, or they a scout leader, you know, some shit where they have access to these young boys,
Children.
right? And so those are their male role models, and they're
Those are the ones
probably
taking advantage of them.
exactly. So, that's
See,
such a good question.
those
I
are
like that.
really excellent questions. I'm like mentally taking notes for all of this.
Right.
Right?
So again,
Oh,
I think as we get a little older in our, as we age, especially women in our 40s, like we don't give a fuck anymore, which is like
Madeline, it feels like even though Madeline's 35, she's
Mhm.
already there. Like she's an older soul
You
Yeah.
know,
with her life
I'm
experience.
realizing that that's such a 40-year-old thing now. And I
Yeah.
was thinking, oh my God, this is what happens when you hit 30. And so I've been telling all of these girls in their 20s, because that's something that I love now also is now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm becoming almost like a mentor to younger little girls and
Love
even
that.
little boys.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I'm realizing I've been telling all of them like, "Oh, honey, when you hit your 30s, it's so much better." But I may have been lying. It may be your
It is.
40s.
It is better. I feel like I found my self-confidence and
hmm
my sexiness, my energy in my 30s. In my 40s is when I was like, balls to the fucking wall. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. I'm ready to be 100% who the fuck I am. I don't know why the hell I haven't fucking done that before.
Right.
And I'm gonna dress how I want to dress. I'm gonna do my hair, my makeup, everything. I'm gonna tattoo the way I want to. That's what happens in your 40s as a woman. We like genuinely, we just are not only accept ourselves, but we don't give a fuck who doesn't accept us. And that's why I think that you're wiser beyond your years, because and that's why like I almost think of you as you in our age group. Like
Yeah.
you're the youngest, younger,
Hmm.
mid millennial, right? Rachel,
Yeah.
mid
Yeah.
millennial, I think.
Yeah.
But you're wiser as if you were an elder millennial, because you're just like, no, I took 3 years and I didn't even bother fucking dating. And now my boundaries are ridiculous. And men are stepping up to the plate, 1 to 2 at max, because the dating pool is
And
tiny.
something else when you were just talking right now, this just triggered something else too. I was reading about how when you go through deconstructing men from your life and kind of deconstructing patriarchy and going through that whole process, how the next step is deconstructing from your family system typically. And so it's interesting because I did that in the opposite order. And so I think also, you know, being in my 20s, I remember getting to the point with my own father where I remember realizing like I wouldn't even allow my own friends or men that I date in my life to do this or to overstep these boundaries. Why am I allowing my own father to do it at this point? You know, and so I think being a woman, whenever you go through setting really firm boundaries and doing all of that work, it's like you just kind of can't put up with it in relationships any longer either. It's like when you do it with your own father and you deal with those root issues and you really take it back. Like, you know, when we have conversations, I'm always like, hey, like, let's actually take it back to like the root of the issue, which is more than likely the fact that like this is a daddy issue. Like, we're allowing men to do this in our life because our fathers normalized it over and over and over again, you know, and like getting to the root of that will actually fix it. And so, yeah, I think a lot of it is when you get to the point where it's like, I can't even deal with my own father and I'm going to cut that out. Why am I
Yeah.
going to go on dates and allow it back in because a man's going to pay for a dinner? Like, sir, I am good. Like, my
That
peace
makes
is
no
not worth it.
exactly. It makes no
Mhm.
sense. And that literally great segue, Madeline, because now let's talk about boundaries.
Mhm.
Boundaries
Yes.
are so important. Rachel is just preaching boundaries left and right.
Mhm.
Even though I'm on these crazy fun apps, I have to have extreme boundaries
Mhm.
because I am on those apps that like the men really feel like they can ask very specific questions, and you have to hold your boundary to even hold like allow that to occur. So that's one thing that everybody is going to have to really think about, Rachel, when you
Mhm.
start getting on the apps. What are your boundaries going to be? What are you going to set up as the standard for your boundaries when you get on those apps? Madeline, what are your boundaries when it comes to those apps? And let's just talk about maybe a first date, because I have some and they're probably different than yours.
Ooh,
So,
yeah.
okay, so red flags that I look out for are like I will not go out with men that are in law enforcement. I will not go out with men that are attorneys. I will not out with men that say that they are conservative. Um, those are big red flags for me. Trying to think what else. Oh, I also, you know, when I initially first started on the apps, I told myself I would give myself a full 90 days on the apps of dating. Which I think is another thing. I think that when you get on the apps and you don't give yourself a designated time period, I think that, and not in your case necessarily, Jackie, but you know, Rachel, you might even want to consider like, what is the time span that you really want to give yourself? Because when you get on there and you just like continue and continue and continue, I think I don't know. There's something about that mindset that kind of shifts. Whereas if you know you're doing it for 90 days,
Mhm.
you're more likely to kind of like take your options a little bit more seriously and like really kind of take it as a like a whole entire like I don't know. It allowed me to not hone in on one individual and it allowed me to kind of see it as like a big
A
like
bigger pool.
season, if that makes any
Oh,
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Kind
like
of a
Like a
that.
bigger
season of
pool,
life.
really.
And I like that because it's like, again, you bring that intentionality to it of just like, hey, it's not like if I don't find my partner, it's fine. It's 90 days. It's just a little experiment. It's not too overwhelming. You know, this time period where you're just like, how long will I be dating? This gets exhausting. It's like, hey, you can get on it for 90 days. It does it suit you? Does it not suit you? Reevaluate what worked for you, what didn't work for you,
Yeah.
and then take 90 days off. And then you can go back again for 90 days. Like
Yeah.
that was really enlightening when we were talking about like, oh yeah, I have floor seats at this concert. Like I need to find a date. And you're like, don't get someone to go with you just because you have concert tickets. Like really take a step back. Don't get caught up in the whirlwind of it and be intentional about what you want in a partner. And the concert will come and go. And I was
Mhm.
like, you're right. You're right.
But you don't want another man on your couch.
Again, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
you
just like
know what?
approaching it from a bigger picture. And I think you're just so amazing, Rachel. And so for me as your friend, I want to see you with someone who like surprises you with concert tickets.
Mm.
And so I just feel like the energy of a man being like, yeah, let me go to this concert with you versus like what I want to see you with is just so different. And so I just wanted you to step out and see it from a bigger picture and just kind of like come into it with a little bit of a different mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy you heard of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I really do take your advice to heart. And I had a great bestie date, which was
Right?
wonderful. But
You
I
did,
do,
and you had an experience and a memory together, which
yeah.
making a core memory with a bestie, I'm sorry,
And I feel like
like
we were all
so
kind
much
of
better.
there.
I know
Yeah.
because she kept Marco Poloing us and we could hear
I
her
love
singing
it.
along and all the lights. Oh my God. And why is Hojer so goddamn beautiful?
But
Oh,
also that opening act that you shared with us, I'm really happy you shared with us because I was listening to her this morning too.
Shout out
yeah.
Gigi Perez. Yes, she was
Yes.
wonderful.
She's excellent.
Great
Excellent.
voice. Yeah.
Hmm. But
But okay, I'm gonna redirect us back
mhm,
So,
to
yeah.
where I'm redirecting back to boundaries, y'all, because they're so
Yes.
important for Rachel to make sure that she upholds when she gets back on the app. There's something that boundaries I genuinely need to really stick to a little bit more. And Madeline, there are some boundaries that you just hold stead to, right? So like time boundaries. One
mm,
thing I find is like you aren't going to waste my time.
mhm,
If you want to take me out, it's going to be worth our time. It's going to be
mhm.
worth my time. I personally
You want
like
me
if
to put makeup on? Come on.
do you know how expensive my
Are
makeup
you
is?
serious?
And the amount of time it takes to get ready. Like before I even go on the state, I've already invested 90 minutes to 2 hours into this.
At a minimum.
Full shower to out the door, full glam, because I'm not going to show up not my A game, you know?
Exactly.
And so it's like I've already invested $100 in 2 hours of my time that it's like plus I need to know where we're going. You can't just be like, hey, are you available? It's I will never just, hey, be available ever.
No,
Communication is
Ever.
so big. And
not
communication
ever.
is the most frustrating thing because these men are so bad at it.
Yeah.
They don't plan ahead and they don't communicate appropriately.
If you're not texting me back within 20 minutes of my text, I will forget about your existence on the planet. The next time you fucking, if we are in a conversation and you take over 20 minutes to text me back, I will literally send back new phone. Who this? Like, tell me, talk to me if we're having a
Mhm.
conversation or switch it over to phone. That is something that's so fucking important when it comes to these apps. And I know Madeline has unmatched with somebody for not responding. I fucking know it.
Mm, so to be honest with you, I typically, I don't know, I give grace because on the apps at least, just because I don't expect people to like be on the apps all the time because I'm certainly not. But yeah, no, if
But texts is.
oh, well, I'm very particular. I don't really give my number out very often, to be honest with you. It's
Not
very
true.
rare.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess for me, um, yeah, when I don't feel like I'm being valued or respected or put first, with like messaging and just like communication, I just no longer can take that person seriously any longer, is the reality of it.
Yeah, I'm really
Um,
into matching energy. Like, oh,
yeah,
you take a long time to get back to me. I'm gonna forget. I'm not gonna be excited about you. So I'm
it's
like,
just
I'll get
unattractive.
back to you when I get back to you. Versus
That
like,
part.
ooh, I'm excited to talk to you. And I do love a phone conversation. I just like as a sapiosexual, I really love like that mental energy and like connecting with someone. And then I was like, oh, I love a good phone conversation. Like it's hard to get
You
to know
do.
someone over text. So I was just like, oh yeah, call me. I'm fine with it.
Yes.
I love when men are like, can we have a FaceTime date before we meet?
Yep.
I love it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we absolutely can. Are we drinking wine? Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's have a quick FaceTime date. 30 minutes, it never hurts anything. Like, and it also allows you to kind of like give them a little bit of like taste. Like, I am cute and natural now, but wait till you see me in person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got
Like, I
totally
love a quick one.
catfished I got catfished by a guy who I actually insisted on doing a FaceTime date with before because it was COVID. It was like right at the end of COVID.
Girl,
And
this man tried to catfish me and I caught his ass.
I
Know your
didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. He had like he was missing part of his tooth. Like I think he was an attorney and he was an alcoholic. And this was the last time I dated an attorney because he was so
That's two
attractive.
red flags.
He was so attractive. And so then he hid his chipped tooth and everything and then showed up for our date. And he was just like super misogynistic. And yeah, it was not fun. It was not fun at all.
You would think as an attorney he would have the funds to fix his tooth, but are there any, okay, so as we're talking about boundaries, and I think these are really wonderful, are there any examples of boundaries you'd wish you'd had in the past?
I wish because here's the thing. We all know that I'm not dating to marry. I'm not dating to meet a boyfriend. I'm on an adventure. But one thing that I really wish is that I wish that I held the standard when I was dating to find a husband to not actually sleep with the men just on the first date. That's my thing. I know that we've talked about it before. I personally, like, if I was going to go out and like look for an actual partner, I probably would keep the boundary that I'm not sleeping with you for the first 90 days. That's how I'm gonna do it, you know. So if you're looking for like a partner, I personally suggest no sleeping together for the first 90 days. And on
90
top of
days.
90 days, I'm telling you for a reason. I'm telling you this for a reason because I know men. I am the darker part of society. You guys know that. So, but I would also not allow a man to like put me into like a committed relationship for 90 days as well. Like, you have to show me what kind of person you are. Those are the boundaries that like I tried to set. It didn't work. It didn't work for me, like going into like the regular dating field. But I feel like I would keep somebody if I wanted a partner. I would keep these people that I'm dating at arm's length. And I wish so bad that like when I was back in that looking for a partner mindset, that's how I was operating. And then also the communication thing. I wish that when I was looking for a partner, I wasn't responding right away. I wish I was taking 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? After each text message, just like
take a beat.
I'm busy. Take a beat. Not responding right away. And also not responding like I get whenever I get excited, you guys know, you have seen my text messages. I'm sending seven sentences. That way you know how I'm saying it. But that's just how we communicate.
Yeah.
Men think, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of those boundaries that I wish I was like, I'm not fucking responding to nobody. I'm too busy for you. So those are my two things that I really wish that I had like paid attention to. And then also not dating people who have potential. Not ever. I don't give a fuck about your potential. I don't care about anybody's potential. This is something that I hold up to myself now. You are either in your career and successful at it, or you are not touching my body at all.
Fully
so that is like
potential.
you are fully potential. I'm not here to rebuild you. I'm not here to support you on your growth. You are successful in your own right. You do not need me in your life. Otherwise, you don't touch my body. That is one thing that that is one huge boundary that I have right now, or a huge standard where it's like, I'm not here to rebuild you or give you whatever energy you are looking for. You are successful in your own right. You're happy in your life. I am a sprinkle on top of the whipped cream.
Exactly.
Kind of vibe. So that's that's something like sometimes I wish I could turn back time and like have those boundaries for myself, but they wouldn't have if I had those boundaries, I probably wouldn't have had the life experience that made me the weirdo I am today. So
it's interesting, Jackie.
Red flags.
It's interesting that you say all of that because in my like 20s and all through my early dating, I did have all of those boundaries. And it's funny because now, getting older and feeling more comfortable and more confident in myself, I am looking for something so different too. Like I'm looking for somebody who basically just wants to like match my freak. You know what I mean? Like you need to be able to put up with my back to back to back text messages because my mind might go in three different directions and I might need to send you those three different text messages before I forget
Yeah.
about all three different things that I needed to tell you about. So yeah, the older I get, the more for me, I don't want to be cool. I don't want to play it cool. I don't want to have to play it safe. I don't want to have to wait. I don't like, I'm so tired of being that person because it just feels so inauthentic. And I also don't want to feel that I have to respond either. And I'll tell you too, like, like I've been dating a few different people now, and like there are a few different guys that haven't respected my time necessarily and haven't upheld like my bare minimum standards, which I set for them. And so now like I don't allow their text messages to just come through freely on my phone. It's set to where it's like I don't get the notifications. I have to go look for those notifications specifically. Like I'm not going to allow that to dictate my time. I'm not going to count on that. I'm not going to like make plans around it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um, like
I,
those men have gotten
I
downgraded.
I saw a video where this girl, anytime she has an ex, she changes their name to a goddamn grave
Mhm,
marker emoji
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
and then blocks it. So every single blocked number, it's just a graveyard in her in
Oh,
her
all of my
blocked
exes are
numbers.
blocked. Yeah.
It's all, but there's no names. It's
She
just
she doesn't
graveyard.
know who to unblock.
She has no idea which one is which.
I don't
So
need to
she can
know. They're
never
all in
go
my
back.
block list. Why would I ever go look at my
Well,
block
that's
list?
listen, I have unblocked. Listen, I have blocked and unblocked people. You would not be
Well,
happy about me unblocking because I didn't save that person as a graveyard marker, a gravestone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what
hmm
I should be doing,
you
but I'm
should.
not. Damn it. I should be, but I am not. So, anyways, let's go on to the next. So, because Madeline started talking about red and green flags, I feel like now's the time.
Oh,
Let's
sorry.
let's no. Let's talk about red and green flags because it seems like nobody like can spot them. Or when we do as women, we see these red flags and we're like, that looks green to me. So, what are I guess let's just start with Madeline. We'll just go around the table.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline, what are your absolute red flag from the profile out?
Oh, you know, I'm sure I'm going to be adding to conversation later on as y'all are saying yours. I'm sure more are going to come up. But like I said earlier, law enforcement officers, I mean, if you look at the statistics on domestic violence and everything in America, there are reasons for that. Law enforcement officers, attorneys, especially in my community in a red state, I don't
Those
understand how
guys are
you're
part of the good old boy system.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're all part of the system together. So yeah, that's another huge red flag for me. Conservative men, red flag. Um, you know, so many things that I find that are red flags are such like small nuances too that are hard to even like put into words. It's so much of me just really trusting my gut now
Mhm.
and no longer second guessing or giving the benefit of the doubt or seeing the potential, like you said earlier. It's seeing exactly what's in front of me right now, here in this moment. Because it's funny how, and this is part of your earlier question too. It's funny how like all of these men also want to talk about they're looking for a travel partner, right? But what is the reality? How often are you traveling?
Once a year. They need to
If
shut
you're
up. They're not
lucky,
actually looking for a travel. You know what they're
like
looking for? Somebody to pay for 50% of their cruise.
of the
Literally
trip
shut
that
up.
they want to go on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They want
They're
somebody to
just
pay for 50% of their hotel room.
mhm.
No.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's interesting how self-centered some of them are. And so and that's a thing I look for too. Are they looking for somebody as an actual equal partner, or are they looking for somebody that's going to be centering around their lifestyle, right? Like these, especially here, we have a lot of men that hunt and fish and all of that. And so they have all these profiles about like, you know, you better be okay with me, at the football game every weekend and at the hunting camp all the time. And it's like, I'm good. I am
Gross.
so good. Like, continue on,
I
sir.
want to
Like, you're looking
spend
for a
time.
woman to like clean up after you.
Yeah. I want to spend time with my partner, not
Hmm.
with them like going out without me. And I'm
And
not a
you have
field
very expensive
dressing a deer.
hobbies.
Yeah.
No, no. So it's like, I'm supposed to be impressed by the fact that you spend a bunch of money on your hobbies. Like, I'm good. I want somebody that wants to like have fun with me, you know? Um, so yeah, I look for a lot of like nuanced things for the most part, but for me, the red flags, attorneys, law enforcement officers, that's probably the biggest
What
one.
happens when you're on a date and they're none of those things? What is a red flag where you're like, oh, because I got a couple.
Mm,
Here's mine, because I
hmm
meet a lot of divorced men, right? You guys.
hmm
And one, I meet a lot of divorced men, but I also meet men who like are up because Rachel, we're 42. Most of them are divorced with children.
Yeah.
Red flag. He talks shit about his wife his ex-wife on the date. The mother of his children. Talk shit. Red flag.
Yeah, because after things don't work out, then he's going to be talking that shit about you too. Like, I make it a
Exactly.
point to not really speak disparagingly of my ex,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. Or if they're in the middle of a divorce and they like if you ask them, first of all, if they're in the middle of a divorce and they're on the goddamn apps,
Hmm.
get the fuck off of
That's a
there.
red
Wait
flag.
till you're fully divorced. Get out
Get
of
Yeah.
the
there.
fuck off of there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Now, you guys, I am clearly dating a man at the end of his divorce, but I met him in person, not on the apps.
That's true. You
Him
did
in
have a
person.
meet cute.
I had a full-on meet cute with this man, and we've been together ever since, but we haven't been in like a commitment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what he's looking for. But like when a man starts talking shit about his ex, period,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, ooh, I don't want to sleep with you. You seem
Yeah.
weird.
Because what I will say is pay her whatever she's asking. I'm on
Whatever
her
she
side.
wants, she had to spend, you farted on her couch. You farted on her couch and you're gonna fucking talk shit about her? Because
Yeah.
why? You gotta pay $1,200 a month? Because you lied somewhere?
Yeah. Stop it.
So there's that. Or any kind of divorce baggage where they're like, and I learned this in my second that relationship I just got out of with Snoop from
Mhm.
California. Madeline, you know,
Hmm.
and you remind me of him all the time.
I
But
will.
listen, he had the most like dramatic unresolved divorce baggage, and like that should have been the red flag for me.
Mhm.
That should have been like, oh no, but I was just like, it's great. Shh.
You know, it's so difficult because like for me, I want to be with someone who has gone through life experiences themselves.
Sure.
And, for me, being married and now being divorced, it taught me a tremendous amount about myself. And I would have never been able to have gone through those experiences and learned so much without all of that happening. And so, there's so much that you learn in being in such a relationship with another person. It's very interesting. I don't know. I never would have realized how much it really does impact everything in your life. And so I don't know that I can really date somebody who hasn't gone through a lot of these experiences or who hasn't gone through and had like the depth of the experiences that I've had as well. There are a lot of people who have just kind of like floated through life and who haven't necessarily even really like dove into it, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
And So yeah, it's interesting. I don't like to date men with children, because I don't want to deal with your ex-wife, quite frankly. And if you have a child, that your ex-wife is going to be a part of that. And I don't want to deal with the way that you're raising your child. I'm probably not going to agree with it, and it's none of my damn business anyway, right? Like I don't need to be judging you or your ex-wife or any of that. And so for me, I feel really uncomfortable in those situations personally. However, it seems to be a catch 22 because I also want somebody who is evolved and emotionally available and who, understands women and who loves women. And, what are the odds at this point of meeting somebody who is childless and who is evolved enough to have gotten to that point? It's just like, what are the odds that I'm going to find it? I don't know. But yeah, I'm still not willing to not date without children, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what? Like Rachel has, I think, the same kind of boundary.
Hmm.
No dependent
No
children. So they
dependent
can have
children.
kids, but they got to
Grown.
be they can make their own goddamn macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. I always say it's,
Basically.
it's it's something different to be your dad's wife versus your stepmother.
How do
Hmm.
you feel like that's different, Rachel, when you're
Mhm.
going into this dating mindset? What do you think is the difference there?
As a child-free woman by choice, it's like I chose not to have children, and so it's like I don't want to parent someone, especially to maybe be a third parent, or I'm not even like welcomed in the space, you know? And so but if we're gonna create a family, I would want my input like received, and we would choose how to move forward as a cohesive family unit, and it's not always that smooth. So it's like also a boundary of like I don't want to add that stress to my life that I've actively chosen not to have in my life. So I won't. And so that's why I end up dating older gentlemen just because it's like, hey, I understand you have a life before me. I had a life before you, but it's like children are not a part of that. I do want to travel. I do, and especially someone with younger children, it's like I might be a distant second or a distant third or a distant fourth, depending on the amount of children you have. And when you are my number one, that is not fair. That
No.
I
Yeah.
would put myself so far back in line because I would never ask myself to come before your children. But it's also like I'm not the main priority in this person's life as they are the priority in mine. So it's like, children are okay, but no dependent children. You're going to be grown, you're going to be self-sufficient, and that way I can have the dating experience that I so choose to have with a person that now has time to invest in me and spend time with me, is how I feel about it, you know?
I
Mhm.
I think that's totally reasonable. I don't have any like age restrictions as far as
Mhm.
like dating men with children. I think my big thing is like just as long as you have a good relationship with their mother, like cool.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. I
And
have two kids. So
yeah.
I think that gives me a unique perspective because I'm done and like I have the experience and then I also have the perspective of this is how I would do things differently.
Mhm.
So I'm able to, and of course Sledgehammer has three young children. The Deuce, it's so crazy, you guys. I'm dating two men with a set of twin girls and then a younger daughter. I only date apparently girl
Real
dads.
bad. Yes, as you
I
should.
Girl
love that.
dads, period. They are emotionally aware of the way women, you know what I'm saying? So like they like see they have like this different emotional like awareness,
Hmm.
but as long as they have a good relationship and both the Deuce and Sledgehammer have really good relationships with the mother of their children, I mean I don't have a problem.
Hmm.
Genuinely, I would, but again, I'm not like you guys. I'm not dating to find a partner. I'm just out there.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm just out there. So it makes sense to like not date men with um kids who are dependent, or just not date men with kids. But that's going to shrink for sure,
It was
Madeline.
very hard for me to
Yeah,
date with men with no
exactly.
children.
Exactly. And
That
so
was hard.
it's just gonna get the dating pool is just gonna shrink and
Mhm.
shrink, because people are breeders. Just gross.
That's the
Says the woman with
thing,
two kids.
though. But that's the thing. I mean, I haven't dated for 3 years, and now I'm
Yeah.
back for just 90 days, and I can be really picky and I can be really specific. And so far, it's actually worked out. I have, you know, a
You
decent little
really,
handful. I don't really want to play my cards. I don't really want to talk too much about, you know what I
they're
mean?
not, listen, if they listen,
No, I'm
thank you.
kidding.
But like genuinely, like you do
There's more
have
than
like
I'd
a
like to
good,
admit.
you have a good lineup of
I
very good
do.
candidates of who might be able to turn into a partner. And like
In some
that's what the 90
instances.
days are
Yeah.
for.
And
Is
in some
for
instances,
being
I
like,
found some people who could potentially just, be in between
indeed.
when I'm
Indeed.
looking in between for partners that could fill
Yes.
certain voids as well. So, and there's something to be said for that. Who
There
knows?
is.
Who
There is.
knows?
A good what is it? Monogamous sexy time friend.
A
Because
monogamous sexy time friend.
genuinely, your sexy time, as far as sexy time goes, Madeline is monogamous with one of her roster members, sexy time wise, and then she's going out on all these beautiful dates
Hmm.
that are fulfilling and adventurous in other ways.
Well,
Which
and let's be honest, the one who has turned into the monogamous, friends with benefits situation, when we first initially kind of started things, it wasn't just friends with benefits, but it is evolved into what it is. And I think that it's empowering sometimes just to acknowledge that that's all you're going to be able to get out of a situation,
it
and to not
has
waste time. And then it
man,
allows you to be really picky while you date other people.
it has evolved into you tormenting that man, much to our entertainment. And I just want you to keep going, quite frankly. I want to see more. You know what? You could be worse.
I could be a lot worse. I could be a lot worse. In fact, I was a lot worse
Oh my
today.
God. We
I
love
mean,
Madeline's adventure. Every single time she does something a little bit diabolical, I'm like,
She
more.
looks so sweet. You would have no idea.
That's the
I
thing
know,
with
right?
Matt. Listen, that's actually the thing kind of with both of you. I like show up somewhere and I got
Hmm.
this sweet, innocent, like maybe one tattoo that's visible to you that you might know about. I have this sweet, nice girl, no tattoos. And it turns out they're both just as diabolical as I am, just a different vibe. I wear my evil on my skin, and you guys have it hidden so that it can come out at the right time. You know
Is
what
it
I'm
really evil though? Like, what's evil about
saying?
it?
Evil in a really nice way. Okay. I mean that as a compliment.
I just don't even know that evil is even how you would classify it. I think it's just like
Maniacal, diabolical.
diabolical. Yeah.
I would say that I'm black cat
Mischievous.
energy. I'm black cat energy in a golden
Yeah.
retriever body.
Madeline too. End of story. Madeline
Mhm.
is black cat energy. Both of y'all are black, and I am just a black cat,
Yeah.
So
a
my Hinge
panther.
profile actually says that I'm a mix of Martha Stewart and Adam Sandler with Sabrina Carpenter sprinkled in.
And see, here's the thing: men probably see the Sabrina Carpenter mixed with those two, and still don't think that you're a witch. You know
They
what I'm
have
saying? Like
no idea.
they have no idea that you are going to destroy their lives. They are just like, Adam Sandler is my favorite comedian, and Martha Stewart can cook. That's not what she means, you guys.
You should see what these Birkenstocks can
You,
do.
Okay, what are some green flags that like we love? If we've gone through the red flags, okay, what are some green flags that we are looking for
girl,
with our
girl
intentionality?
dads.
Girl
girl
dads for you.
dad.
Mhm.
I am for a girl dad I will give a girl dad the green light pretty much every single time. There is something that these girl dads have learned by having girls that make the I am treated differently by girl dads than I am by men who do not have children. I am treated much, much differently with much more emotional thought, with much more care, with much more like, you guys, I can turn my brain all the way the fuck off. I don't have to
Mhm.
think about nothing. These girl dads are there with it. Literally, Sledgehammer carries a Merce, you guys, and he called it a Merce. It's a fanny
I
pack.
love it.
But
Yes.
Madeline, have I told you this story where he looked at me? I was like, hey, are you going to bring your fanny pack? And this man looked at me dead in the eye and he was like, that's called a Merce. Like, corrected
I
me.
love it.
And I was just like, okay, you're getting it. So, girl dads is a green flag. And here's the thing, usually when they look like I can beat them up, it's a green flag for me. And I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? If it looks like they in their profile, they kind of not only that I could beat them up, but they kind of want me to. Green flag.
Hmm.
And then obviously, like they're communicative. Like I like it when they are constantly in contact with me. It makes me feel
Mhm.
like I am being chased because you
Yeah.
guys know, like my profile at one point said princess treatment only, and it got great results.
Mhm.
If they are treating me as if they are fucking obsessed already, they're getting a date. Period.
Mhm.
Just constantly. I text them, they text me right back, getting a date.
Mhm.
That communication to me is so sexy, and it just kind of shows me, like, oh, you're really interested.
Well, you
So
like to be prioritized, I think.
that part, yes, I
Yeah.
want to be. I don't care. You're working. I don't care. So am I. And text me back.
Yeah.
Well,
If
and
I'm
also,
making time for you, please make time for me.
Exactly.
and I think
Mhm.
there's something to be said about actions too. And so, early on, the only way that you can see if somebody is actually going to be following through and if it's not just a bunch of talk is if they are communicating effectively, making plans, and prioritizing you.
Mhm.
So yeah, like those are huge. Those are the biggest green flags for me as well, Jackie, is the communication and consistency. I'm always looking for consistency as well. I'm also at the point now too where I am looking for addiction issues also.
Oh,
I'm
Mhm.
looking
yeah.
for the potential of addiction issues to be there. Like, are they consistent with their messaging, or is there like some type of weird are they love bombing and then kind of dropping off, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Addiction issues are really, really common at our age too. Like if you're
Hmm.
dating older men, like a lot of time I have this thing that I do where I'm just like, "Oh, you're 45 and single. What'd you do?"
Hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I straight up judge, "Oh, you're divorced. What'd you do?"
Hmm.
Because I think it's them every time. I
I
just think it's
ask,
them.
I say, what would your ex like? Why did your last relationship fall apart?
That part.
And then I say, what would your ex, how would your ex describe it? Because usually they'll give you an answer. And if I don't like the answer, then I say, oh, well, what would your ex say? Like, what would her description of things be?
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good
Hmm.
one. Rachel,
It'll tell you a lot.
if you were going to go on the apps right now, what would be your green flag? Guy running through the fucking woods with a green flag. What would it be?
God, that's so hard to say. Because here it is. I am looking for a male version of myself.
Hmm.
Successful,
We all?
handsome. Yeah. And so it's like, oh, does that mean my standards are too high?
No.
I would say a man in a three-piece suit would be a hard swipe right for me. A fashionable man would be really, real good. Um,
Yeah.
and then someone who would fill out those dating prompts like fully, like you could tell that they are thoughtful, that they have put thought behind their answers. They're not just like, oh, whatever. And I know there's a lot of aggression that does come through on some Hinge profiles of just like, whatever, I'm just here, blah, blah, blah. I don't even check it. It's like you're wasting your time when everyone else is. So it's more of just like to see the thoughtfulness of the answers and like some humor behind it as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that, like a funny picture, like something that can make you laugh right out front, you know? So that
I
would be kind of
love
a green flag on
If you
a
can't even fill out a
dating app.
profile, how are you going to take me to dinner? And
Because
how are we going to enjoy ourselves?
I'm taking my time and I
Mhm.
want to, again, be very intentional with it. So it's more of I am taking the time to be here. And you are not taking me seriously, then I'm not here to waste my time or anyone else's, you know? So
Yeah.
it's just like, I took the time to fill this out. I'm only asking for the same. I'm not asking for anything that
Also,
I haven't done.
also as women, I don't want to get unalived. So
Also
I
true.
also, yeah. So like when a man has actually put the intention in and really spent the time and like done the profile the right way, that tells me that he's looking for a more serious situation. And I don't know, it's like we're expected to risk so much in going out on dates with men. And so if they're not even taking it seriously enough to fill it out and give us some good information, I'm not wasting my energy.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I love that. I love that. I really look for like, I mean, obviously in my I guess dating field, I'm looking for somebody who's just gonna be really communicative and motion and okay, I can't talk anymore because I had to teach Maker's Mark. Um Communicative
Hmm.
and accountable. So like
Yes.
uh, because I'm looking for something very specific, like I have a primary partner and then I have two other partners.
Hmm.
If I'm looking for something outside those partnerships, I'm looking for somebody who can communicate clearly. And that is my like biggest green flag. Like,
Hmm.
what the fuck do you want? And that's what I've actually noticed between my experience and your guys' experience dating. Rachel, I know you're not even on the apps, but your dating experience is wholly different than mine. And
Hmm.
Madeline, everything you've described has been very different. So like I am very much like, what do you want? Can you communicate it and can you be consistent? And those are my like big green flags, like if I'm going to continue on speaking to somebody.
And that's really true because when you say, oh, to meet a long-term partner, to like, don't sleep with them for 90 days. And that's, I kind of am thinking about doing that or enacting that in my dating life in the future, just to be like, hey, if we're talking about long-term, 3 months is nothing.
Yeah.
And what are your intentions with me? Are you
Yeah.
looking to just hit it and quit it? Or are you going to invest in me?
Yeah. And
Mhm.
that's gonna weed out people
Mhm.
for sure. If
And
you
just to
have
tell them
that
up front, I'm not going to sleep with you for 90 days. Like, I want to know that I like you before I attempt to love you.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Jackie, this episode was a doozy, and we have to make it a two-parter for sure. So, for now, that will conclude this portion of the whiskey bent part of the episode. Are you ready for the spellbounding?
I am. I've been shuffling my cards, listening to that episode. It was insane. It was so eye-opening, I feel like. And
Hmm.
I'm ready to like move forward with everything that we talked about. But I've had a few cards pop out as I've been shuffling. So I'm going to go ahead and read those now. I got a new set deck of cards while I was here. They are Santa Muerte cards,
Ooh.
and I just felt really drawn to them. So I went ahead and picked them up. That's usually how it goes. But the first card I pulled was the Hierophant. And the thing about the Hierophant is it is really focused on traditionalism being traditional, conforming to traditions, following in other people's footsteps, really sticking with the traditionality of the things, which I love that this popped out while we were talking about it. It's a card that can also represent knowledge.
Mm.
So I think that's such an interesting combination, like especially since we're talking about dating in our
Mhm.
40s, like
Yeah.
we're kind of really letting it go. And this feels like a sign that like, yeah, we see that tradition has really brought us down a certain path. And we're sort of thinking about taking a new path. The second card that popped out was justice. And justice is more of like a cause and effect.
Hmm.
This really supports the truth of things. And when it comes out after this Hierophant card, it just tells me like, hey, really balance out what is supposed to be happening here.
Hmm.
Like, what is the truth of all of it? Yes, dating for like a traditional man woman dynamic, the provider, the nurturer dynamic that we are all really like looking for essentially.
Hmm.
Um, this card really gives us a little bit more clarity. Like, what is the truth of it? Because are we looking for that? Or is that just what society tells us
Ooh,
we're
that's so
supposed to be
good.
looking for?
Yeah.
And that one was immediately followed by the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords has a little bit of a restlessness to him. Yeah, it's about like embarking on taking like new roads, taking new paths, not really sticking to the traditional path that is set before us when we go into these dating mindsets.
Mhm.
So all three of these popped out while we were listening to ourselves yap, quite frankly. And it was just it's just like so like eye-opening to me because it feels like spirit is really telling me like those traditions don't really matter. Open your heart, open your mind to what actually could be a possibility and take a road you've never um taken before. Like make yourself uncomfy a little bit
Mhm.
when it comes to your mindset about dating. It's
Yeah.
it's how do I explain it? Like it just doesn't feel like the traditionality of dating is there anymore. And the cards are like kind of telling me, like, yeah, bitch, it's not. It's time to really think about what you really want and stop trying to conform to what society is telling you that you probably wanted this entire time. You didn't really.
I can really take that because what my takeaways with the episodes with Madeline were like to be mindful in your actions,
Yeah.
whether you want to be into dating or like me currently actively choosing to not date. And then again, it was so revolutionary of just a simple idea of choosing to actively not date instead of just kind of like that default of just this I'm single, that's what you do. And so it almost feels like I'm bucking a system
Yeah.
of like what has always been presented to me and like the rebellious thing that I'm doing by just living my life in my home, like simply, like that's the revolutionary thought about it is just I don't need that right now in my life.
Yeah.
And so,
And
yeah,
I've always been stuck on that mindset. Like if I'm not in a relationship, I should be looking for one. And
yeah.
like, no, I
Hmm.
actually shouldn't be.
Hmm.
It's a very weird like thing to have to realize, I feel like, in my own in my own self, in my own body, in my own mind,
Hmm.
that no, I actually don't have to be looking for a relationship if I'm not in a relationship. I can just move right the fuck on.
Yeah, like I'm not
Not look.
between relationships. I'm actually quite happy right
I'm
here.
fine
I'm good.
right here by
Yeah.
myself.
Happiness exists and where I make it.
Yeah.
what I'm seeking. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, it was so good talking to Madeline.
I know she's so wise beyond her years, and I can't wait to chat with her a little bit more as we get it further in our not dating singleness.
Hmm.
As we move comfortably into our, I want to say, like, I feel like I'm comfortably moving into my Girls era and not giving a shit.
I know. Like, I really, it's almost like can we start Golden Girls now? Because someone said that they were like in their 40s when they were, and I was like, that's not right. That's no way they can
No,
be.
they were
They
in
must have
their
been like
50s
60s,
and
60s.
60s.
But I was
Yeah,
like, can we start that now? Can we just
right
co-buy
now.
homes with our friends now? Can we buy our tiny homes now? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
I know I'm ready to do that.
Right.
I am ready. I'm so done.
I know we got to put a little bit more money into the retirement before we do. But yeah, like we are saving up for true Golden Girls. I'm so excited. You know what? That I'm gonna rewatch that show. It
I
really, what
started
a blueprint,
rewatching it and it is fantastic.
right?
It is so funny. It is so funny. I highly recommend.
Um,
Start
did
watching.
a- did any other cards jump out while you were shuffling, or we got just exactly what Spirit wanted to tell us
That's it.
today?
We got
That was three.
exactly what Spirit wanted to tell us. I think that these cards are so crazy that they popped out. I really love this deck because
Hmm.
it seems to really tell me exactly what I want to hear. Well, not what I want to hear. It seems to tell me exactly what I need to hear,
Hmm.
even if it makes me uncomfy. Like it has
That's
told me several times, like, hey, you don't know what path you're about to take. What's up? You need to figure out what you want out of life before you try to decide, make big decisions. And it's not very comfy when I ask it a question. And so I really love that this deck for that.
But I also feel that's where the growth comes from, is getting comfy with the uncomfy.
Yes.
That's how we become the better version of ourselves, of just
Yeah.
like, "Mm, I'm it's unfamiliar. So that's why it feels uncomfy. But you know what? It's okay. Get comfy there.
It's
So
fantastic.
you're like better equipped for like the next uncomfy situation. And then you're like, I know how to navigate this.
This is fine. This is not as uncomfy as I have been. That's
Yeah.
how I feel sometimes.
Excellent. So, thank you for listening to part one of our two-part series with special guest Madeline. You can hear part two on our Patreon now if you subscribe. It's $3.95 a month for early access, and we want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers who have supported us already. And you can also get fun behind-the-scenes content. So, it's not much, but it means the world to us. And we'll see you in the next episode. Love
Love
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.